How's everybody tonight? I was trying to download something that Medina wanted me to show y'all. Excuse me. It's something strange, our dog does. And maybe while I'm showing you a video here, I'll have time to get it transferred up and let y'all watch it. We have a very strange dog. But hope everybody's good tonight. We are going to get into what we're going to talk about. Somebody sent me this and about Suzanne Coulter. She's 38. She's missing since October the 6th in Zion National Park. If any of y'all have been to Zion, we have. It's a very beautiful place. A lot of hiking trails, just some great spots to hike. Some dangerous trails like Angel's Peak and others that you could just fall off into nothing when you're walking up the trail. The only way to get into Zion currently is you got to take a shuttle. And you park your car at locations and they shuttle you on shuttle buses. Now, even when we were there before, there's only certain places that you couldn't get into without a shuttle. Going way back into the back of Zion where a lot of the trailheads are, you got to take the shuttle back there. And the shuttle will take you to different areas. But she took the shuttle back into Zion and she never did come out. So while this is doing it, if this thing runs a little long, short, I can't get back to it, give me a minute. I'm going to try to download this video for you because Dina really wants me to show it to you. Tonight sometime. Let you watch this, and this will tell a little bit about what we're talking about.
A massive search is underway for a mother from the San Fernando Valley who went missing in Zion National Park in Utah. Well, tonight, CBS 2's Christine Lazar has the latest on the search for her and reaction from the missing mother's family.
I want her to come home.
A daughter desperate to find her mother after she set off for a hike in Zion National Park in Utah last week.
Tuesday was the last time anyone has seen her alive.
Kaylee Chambers says her mother, 38-year-old Holly Courtier of Woodland Hills, lost her nannying job due to COVID and has been traveling the country in a converted van visiting national parks.
She was on a shuttle into the park around 1 p.m. and she never got back on her shuttle to come back out of the park, back into town.
According to a park spokesperson, search and rescue crews have been looking for Courtier for days, including just this morning. These are photos the park sent us. Her daughter says she's an experienced hiker and has hiked alone before. She's familiar with Zion. The pair visited Zion together just a few months ago.
You are not able to drive your car into Zion Park. You have to take a shuttle in and out. So that's the only way for her to leave. And they also have security cameras at the entrance and exits, and they have not seen her come back out.
Courtier is 5'3" and 100 pounds. She was possibly wearing a gray trucker hat like this one, a Patagonia black puffy jacket with gray hiking boots and a blue backpack. It's believed she also had a sleeping bag and a hammock. It's unclear how much food and water she had with her.
I do know that there are freshwater streams that she's able to get water from, but without food, we are running on a few days left for her survival, so this time is very, very crucial.
A park spokesperson won't say if they have any plans to call off the search, telling us it's still an active investigation. Chambers is flying out to Utah today.
I want to find her, and if my mom is somehow able to hear this, I don't want her to give up, and we're looking for her and to keep fighting and don't give up.
Courtier's family is hoping that anyone here locally who's been to Zion within the past week, if they think they saw her or her belongings, to contact park rangers. Christine Lazar, CBS 2 News.
Okay, well, I tried to download that thing. I don't know where it went to. That is crazy, though. She's an experienced hiker. She knew what she was doing. In researching this to talk to you tonight, I found there's been thousands of people that come up missing in the state parks. A lot of them are found deceased. They have accidents. They fall off the side of the mountain. They get off trail, and some of them are found alive. I wanted to play this another one for you here, and it's going to show you how kind of crazy things are in the state park itself. Two others for you here. Let me play this, and let me see what you think about this.
A missing North Carolina hiker was found alive and tied to a tree in Blue Ridge Parkway. Rescue workers found the unidentified 64-year-old off a trail about an hour after she was reported missing. The hiker has since been taken to a local hospital for treatment. Her condition is unknown. A woman who identified herself as the hiker's caretaker first reported the disappearance. She told the Asheville Citizen-Times she received texts from the hiker about an emergency before she disappeared. Park officials say a 50-year-old white male with salt and pepper hair and an unkempt appearance might have been involved in the incident. Authorities haven't released many details about the disappearance, but they do say it appears to be an isolated event. For Newsy, I'm Eugene Daniels.
What do you think about that? I mean, she's found tied to a tree. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just very lucky that she was left alive and not murdered.
Did you hear about that family? Did you read about that family that was, they went missing? This has been in the 70s, and they went out and searched for them. They found their campground, and it didn't look like it had been disturbed. And 100 yards away from there, the next year, they found the man's body tied to a tree, and the wife and the two little children found in a cave that had been covered up with rocks.
No, I didn't read that.
They 100 yards, and they didn't find him.
Wow. Well, I know they've done for this girl, the hiker that we just talked about first, in California woman, Holly Suzanne Courtner, 38, was seen October the 6th in Utah and Zion. And now you got to remember, Zion has some high altitudes in it. You know, the weird thing, if you've never been to Zion, you ride through and the rock walls jettison upward. You have red, it's stone, and in the very back of the park where all the trailheads are, you can actually see people climbing these rock faces
and sleeping
on the face. They have little hammock things out there that they sleep on. But you can't imagine how tall, and these people look like little ants up on the side of the wall. Bryce, on the other hand, Bryce Canyon is just up from Zion about, I want to say, a couple hours, maybe.
Yeah, something
it was
like
about 2 or 3 hours up north.
At Zion, you're looking up.
Yeah, Bryce, you're looking down.
Yeah,
you can see
it's
you
really
drive around
strange.
the top of the canyon and look down, and there's trails and everything up at Bryce. And we actually left Bryce on June the 2nd in a snowstorm. And that was just show you the elevation, the height of the elevations. But it just took me back about how many people went missing, and yet they went missing, but they were they died. They fell off. They died or something. I mean, just it was just so many that I had really trouble. I mean, even though they had a large amount of people that went missing that has never been found and still are missing out there, a lot more was found deceased. And you know, this is the honest to God's truth. It's been reported that the Bigfoot Society is one of the, and they keep up with they have the most accurate records about missing hikers in the U.S., the Bigfoot Society. And they are trying to establish if Bigfoot or Sasquatch is real.
If he's kidnapping them?
No, they just keep up with how many people are missing and who they are, and they've got cataloging this. And I was surprised. But the main thing they said about the missing people in national parks were that they felt like the National Park Service was not taking it serious enough, or they didn't have the investigative forces to investigate them, because they deal with so much people, the crowds and all that, so they don't have the investigative forces to come in and investigate the missing person cases. So it's easy to get kind of disappointed. But when you first go missing, of course, they pour in a sheriff's department and rescue units and helicopters and all kinds of stuff to try to find them. But as time wears on, and these people go back to doing other rescues and other trying to find people, then you're left to volunteers and the Park Service, and the Park Service just doesn't have enough people to do it. And if you remember, we covered that girl that went missing up there on the hike up in, I think it was Washington, Seattle area up in there. And then there was another one right after that went missing. That is exactly why. I mean, she's been out there over a year. So now it's a recovery situation, not a trying to find them. It's more recovery. And I'll play one more. And this is this girl. And I thought, sure, this one's going to be found. And you just watch this.
The Almosa County Sheriff's Office is asking for help looking for a missing hiker. Joy Cipoletti was last seen Saturday afternoon in the area of Zapata Falls and the South Zapata Lake Trail, as well as the Ellingwood Point area. The 60-year-old is 5'3" with curly brown and gray hair. If you see her, you are asked to call police.
They found her deceased about 3 days later from this. It just goes to show that something, either, and they pretty much said that all of these were accident related or natural causes. They've had a medical problem and they can't get help and they die, or they get off trail and they starve to death. I read about another couple that, and they're still investigating this, but they were, I think it was on, I'm not exactly sure which part of the country it was, but it was a national park. A male and a female. They went out hiking, and they weren't found for several months. And when they found them, it was a murder-suicide. But they felt like that it was done because they were starving to death. They basically starved themselves to death. And one guy said they thought he did it as a mercy killing, but I don't know about that. You never can tell why or what somebody does on these things. Has anybody heard anything about this particular case today? I checked it as of late, and there was no more information on it other than they had done all kinds of searches, and nothing has came up about it.
You had a question about the lady that was tied to the tree. Mm-hmm. I've got to get back up there to it. Living It says, if this 50-year-old person had a caretaker, did she just slip out on her own?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that too when I heard caretaker. I thought
the caretaker tied her to the tree.
No, it wasn't. It was some male. Remember, they were describing the male.
Yeah.
The caretaker might have been someone that, and we don't know what they're talking about. Caretaker, was she in a home? Was she maybe somebody's grandfather or grandmother rather, and challenged, or maybe she was mentally challenged or something. So I don't know exactly what that meant. That was not really explained in that really at all. One thing I came upon was the clusters of missing people, and they call it the Yosemite cluster of cases. And now this happened over time. It's not like they all happen around two or three years.
Rowan says there's a California man being searched for right now here in Washington. Lake Diablo in North Cascade Mountains, missing 3 days now. Set up an easel to paint and hasn't been seen since.
Wow. You know, you got to wonder if a bear didn't get him or something, but I think a lot of times they look for their material and stuff. You remember the girl we featured, and I apologize, I can't remember her name. She went up there hiking. Some people came down and said, hey, you better be careful. There's a huge storm coming in. She continued on. Well, she didn't make it to this cabin up there. She did. The cabin was set up. You know, it had fire, wood, food, you know, shelter, everything she would need, water, everything. But she never made it. And they have yet to find a single article of her gear. That was the last time when I reported, not a single article of her gear. And you wonder how could somebody go missing on a pre-established trail and you not find any gear, nothing, no trace. Just a couple of these cases. This one I found, and of course, I know they probably had plenty more before then, but these were like really started to reporting. 1981, a 14-year-old girl on horseback trip with her father and several other friends of the Yosemite. Basically, enjoyed riding, stunning views and everything. The young girl asked both her father and the others members of the party to join her, but they denied apparently she went off decided to take a walk, basically to take some photos, asked her father and them to go, and they were like, no, go ahead, it would be fine, just, you know, keep us in sight and all this. When she basically disappeared and nothing, never seen again. They used dogs, helicopters, nothing more. Just the only thing they found was the lens cap of her camera. That was it. And you got to wonder, you know, what happened? How can you get so lost or something happened that she'd never, ever be found? As many people visit Yosemite. They also recovered a man's body, turned up in a crevice located within the tenure peak of Yosemite, of that area. He has never been identified. Of course, this is 1968. I don't know if they kept DNA of it. They thought maybe he fell from, fell from a ledge and killed himself. But you got to wonder, nobody reported him missing. You know, nobody even reported him missing. They had a Jeff Estes in 1976, a little more than a mile from the gorge where the body of the mystery man that we're talking about a few minutes ago turned up. 25 years old, disappeared. Officials' search efforts by his family and friends, not a shed of evidence was found. He has never been seen again. You wonder how in the world that's what gets me. I know this area is vast. Yosemite is vast, but you got tons of hikers, tons of rangers, people go in there and they clear the forestation so it doesn't have fires and stuff. They've never seen anything of him, not one little bit. In 1988, mid-July, slightly northeast of where the site where the mystery man's body was found. They're all kind of like around that where he was found. That they had Timothy Barnes vanish, similar to Jeff Estes. There were 4 instances of strange, abnormally particular hotspot. This guy was never seen again either. And you got to wonder what is going on, you know?
It's all happening, said. My daughter went alone to Zion National Park, and she spoke with her today. And she said she lives in downtown Chicago, a nice section, and said she said that I was more secure at Zion.
Yeah, I agree. The park is secure. You have cameras and there's rangers everywhere. That's why it's kind of baffling that this girl could go missing and not nobody's found her. They said she was an avid hiker. But that's what I'm getting to. You know, and look, I'm not saying don't hike alone.
I am.
But it seems to be all of these missing people are people that hike alone. You know, I mean, are they meeting some type of foul play? I mean, it could very well be that somebody saw her up there and knocked her in the head or drug her off, and they may find her body later on. Who knows? Or she may have got injured. But these trails are well worn down. They're not like you go out into the middle of the woods and follow a trail. These things, look, the paths and the trails that I've seen in Zion are like sidewalks. I mean, they're not easy now. Don't get me wrong. Some of them are very steep. They even have to climb over rock. They have to hold on a lot to these type of metal chain ropes of chain, but they are well worn. I mean, you just can't say, well, do I take this way or this way to go on the, no, you will know. And they got signage, they got all this stuff. I mean, it's not, I don't think you could just wander off trail unless you wanted to. And the fact is, she could have fallen. She could have fallen off for whatever reason. She could have fallen. But then again, where did she fall, and why hasn't somebody seen her? You know, that's the thing.
But I'm saying, don't go alone.
Yeah, I mean, if I had a daughter or son that was young, that was going to go up here and go hiking, I would encourage them to go with somebody. I mean, you limit your risk of getting lost or anything happening to you if you do that. What if somebody asked for a video?
She wants to see the video of Maggie. I
downloaded. We'll wait to the last.
Yeah,
of this,
play both of them,
and we'll do that if I do have that other video.
Uh-huh.
The one that I did download this of Maggie showing you how silly our dog is. There's no explanation for what she does in this video. Okay, that's all I'm going to say.
We have a very adventurous daughter, and she called us one night about 10 o'clock and said, Mom and Dad, I just want y'all to know y'all are the best parents in the world. I love y'all. And if anything happens to me tomorrow, I just wanted y'all to know that. And I said, Mindy, what are you doing tomorrow? She said, I'm going skydiving. I'll call you when I hit the ground.
This is in Colorado, and she had climbed part of Pikes Peak with a group from college.
And then she calls us. She hit the ground. I mean, she made it down safely. But then she goes to Australia and she calls us and she says, I just want y'all to know that y'all are great parents and I love you.
Saying, what are you doing now?
Yeah.
Mindy?
She was going scuba diving in the Great Barrier Reef.
Right.
Great Barrier Reefs. And so she called us when she got out of the water. She was fine.
She's done a whole lot of stuff when she was younger. Also, and these are, I'm sure there were a lot of missing cases between this, but I'm just skipping around on talking about Yosemite.
Denise said
places.
that they were hiking one time incident, and they came up on a man peeping from behind a tree, looking down where two other female hikers were.
Oh, wow. You talking about my coffee cup there, Katie? Yeah, I think my wife got this for me. It is rather large. It is a Pennzoil coffee cup. Mainly, she does this because if you've ever watched me, my hands shake. I've got what they call familiar tremors. It's a genetic disease that affects me more as I grow older. And it's just, unfortunately, nothing I can do about it. There's medicines make me feel weird. So,
well, tell them what you could get it fixed.
Yeah, doctor said I could have surgery, but he said they would have to drill a hole while I'm awake in my head somewhere in here, put a wire back there and clip a nerve. And he said, it's your age. He said, young, 20, 22, 23 years old, no problem. You know, heal up within a couple months. Yours, there's a risk of neurologic.
Now I can't even say it. Neurology.
Neurology.
Whatever. His brain won't work right.
My brain won't work right. Let me say that. So you might see me with my hands. Sometimes they shake more than others. Tonight they're fairly good, but that's why I use a big coffee cup so I don't spill it on me.
And he still spills it on him.
And sometimes I still spill it on me. But anyway, Ronald Kirk in 2012, a runner, former Marine, knew the rock.
Everybody's telling me how to
Canyon,
say
it. Yeah, neurology. That's what I'm trying to say.
No, it's neurological. That's it. Don't do it. Neurological.
Neurological.
When you keep saying it, I can't say it.
Red Rock Canyon, Calico Basin area well. He went missing in late January, this 2012. He had a history of spending time outdoors, especially in the area. Thus, when he let his friends know that he was going, no one was concerned. However, this unfortunately proved to be the last time anyone saw him ever again. Now you gotta think about this. Now this guy's a Marine, and you know they say once a Marine, always a Marine. They say former Marine, but what I'm told is once a Marine, always a Marine. And then he's a runner, so he's in shape. And he spends a lot of time outdoors, but he disappeared completely.
LUXSTE says, I have familiar tremors too. I noticed it in you the other day. There's surgery ?
Yeah, there is surgery for it, they tell me. And they also, I understand of late that they are even medicine, but
she put down what she's taking. That maybe we need to talk to the doctor about that.
They did say there's a surgery now. It's I don't know if it's actually surgery or there's something they do now that they kind of do some type of pulse into the brain. And they say, but it's got side effects that can make you debilitate you on one side. Like you can actually, like you've had a stroke or something on one side of your body. I can put up with it, and I'm not having to qualify at the range anymore in police work, and I'm not having to do a lot of writing. Writing is where it really does. I cannot get and write anything. I'll just type on the computer. Sometimes I have problems even doing some of that.
Avalon says, if the hand tremors get bad, use hand weights.
Never thought about that. Never thought about that. Yeah, if you can give me a thumbs up on our likes out there, that helps YouTube get us out there more to people. And we are growing a little bit at a time, but we're very, very slow on stuff now. But
Lux uses weighted utensils.
Oh wow, I never thought about that.
So Tube Crime received everyone's prayers. Thank you.
Yeah. Are you here, Tube Crime?
No, living at 66.
Yeah, I talked to him briefly, or AK briefly on the internet, and yes, I'm glad to see him back. We're going to discuss that and a little bit about what I'm hearing about the buried Morphu case in just a couple of minutes. They say that, here it is, it said theories, believable and bizarre, Bigfoot, other things from the Appalachian mythology come into play number of times, although many of the missing cases demonstrate strange incidents. They've been linked to mountain monsters, folk devils, UFO sightings, and other things like that. I mean, we can look, people. We can say it's anything because people always, I'm not going into UFO things right now. We'll talk about that another day. But Yeah. But I think when people disappear without being found after massive searches are done, you automatically think they've kidnapped or something weird has happened. But I'm just going to show you, talk about one thing. You remember the girl, we talked about her a couple of times ago. You had two women, older women. Now I'm talking about older. I'm talking about in their late 70s, mid into early 80s. Very physical fit, hiking portion of the Appalachian Trail. The one gets off to go to a doctor's appointment or something, says, I'll meet you at another stop. I think it was 25 miles up the way. Now, 25 miles to me is a long way, but apparently it's not that far when you talk about the Appalachian Trail, you know, and portions of it are 300-400 miles long. Well, the lady that stayed, she got off trail. She ended up breaking her leg and she ended up dying. But at the last of it, she actually wrote a note saying, you know, this is what happened to me. I can't move. You know, this is close to the end. And searchers have walked. They searched that area on horseback, on four-wheeler, hikers, everything, and they still missed her. So, you know.
I Love Labs asked, did you see the documentary called Grizzly Man where he and his girlfriend were eaten?
No.
I don't want to watch that with you. I
will watch it though. I mean, where were they? I guess you say they're eaten by bears or whatever. Where was this? Was Alaska or was it the lower 48? I'd like to, you know, to know about that.
AWP just hit 500,000 subs today.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's Adventures with a Purpose. Yeah, that's good. And there's some
Alaska. That
was Alaska.
That happened in Alaska.
There's some indications that he may even get him his own show. I understand Discovery Channel or somebody was looking at him, is what I read. So that would be awesome. That would be awesome. We would really love just to have 5,000 by the end of the year, if at all possible. I know that I know our show is not as interesting as him diving in the river and finding stuff, but you know, I believe we have a cause to go with.
Said those people were eaten because they were alone. Somebody asked, can you watch The Grizzly Man on Netflix?
I don't know. You're saying you can watch The Grizzly Man?
There was a question. They're asking.
I don't know.
Well, somebody on here can answer.
Yeah, you can. Somebody that knows can answer that. What did we hear? I heard the other day somebody was saying, if it's talking about bears, if it's brown, lay down. If it's black, fight back. I think that's what they said. In other words, if you get,
I thought it's if it's brown, stand your ground. If it's black,
no. Brown is grizzly. Black, they say, then stand up on your hind leg out and just go try to.
Wait a minute, how you do that? Show me how to do that again.
Then make them run away or anything. In other words, if you're black, fight back. If you're brown, they say lay on the ground, cover your head. That a grizzly you do not want to fight with because they are like bad news. But
how do you get away from an alligator?
Yeah, anybody know how you get away from an alligator? I know somebody from Florida is here.
I know how to.
I know. We know how to get away from alligators.
You run zigzag.
That's right. Now, believe it or not, alligator run 20 miles an hour. They can run up to 20 miles an hour in a straight line. You want to do zigzag. They can't cut like arrows.
Tommy says, "Run."
Yeah, run's right. But you know, it's sad to think that, you know, if your parent or your brother or sister had went hiking up here in one of these trails, first off, I just please, if you hike a lot, hike with a buddy. It's like going scuba diving. You don't ever want to go scuba diving by yourself. You always go with a buddy, so that if you have a problem, the buddy, even if you run out of air, the buddy can share his air with you. If you have an incident, you're in a cave or what, it's the buddy system, help each other. So I would highly recommend that if you are going to go hiking in the wilderness, to carry someone with you. I know that, and I tend to say that more about females because the vulnerability of you being attacked by a male predator. But I say this for males too. They just discovered the body of a young man that was hiking and scaling, rock climbing in one of the national parks I saw, where he was a avid hiker, avid rock climber, considered almost an expert. And when he didn't show up for like 2 or 3 weeks, they did a massive search and they just found his body where it looks like he was climbing a rock face, and fell. So, you got to wonder why. I mean, why not? Why not just carry somebody with you? And I know it's not easy all the time. Everybody's got things to do in their life, but I know a guy that does a lot of rock climbing and ice climbing, and he always has a bunch of people going with him. It's more fun to do things with other people. That's
Francis Mudd says, I mushroom hunt with a 38 or a 9mm.
Yeah, I understand that. But what if you fell, twisted your leg, or you got, something like that, or you broke your leg, it might be a while before, especially mushrooming hunting, that if you're not on a trail, it might be a while somebody finds you,
Rowan said, he said he came face to face with a brown bear. He yelled so loud that they both ran in different directions. He's killing me. Now you can see that grizzly man. Kim said, on Netflix, Hulu, iTunes, or Amazon.
Wow. Now, is it about a couple that goes to the woods to live and kind of off the grid thing, and they end up their own demise, or making friends with bears, sort of stuff? I don't know. I'll look at it.
Brandy says she swears her dad fed a Twinkie to a grizzly bear. Woo!
Ooh. I don't want to be that close to a grizzly bear.
Beach Bum says, throw your mug at the bear.
Yeah, absolutely. That's big enough. I probably could. We were out near the Grand Canyon in Williams, Arizona, back in 2015, 16. Was that about
what?
It was
2015. Sorry, I was reading.
We were at the Grand Canyon in 2015.
Yes, 2015.
And we went to a place called Bear Country.
Oh,
if you get
that's
a chance.
In South Dakota.
No. One was outside Williams, remember? One was outside Williams.
I thought it was.
But there were two, actually. I think they were kind of close together outside of Williams. But there was Bear Country. You pay a fee. You stay in your car, and you drive through this area. And they probably have 300 or 400 bears. It was unbelievable. I mean, they walk right beside your car. I mean, it was. They're just out there everywhere. It would be highly recommended if you're out in that area to go to that. It was unbelievable. It was a great time. I think we spent about 3 hours, and they've got some great pictures somewhere. And then we also went in. They had this little thing you walk around. The bears right there too.
Thanks, living it.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. It's all happening. Leave the wildlife alone.
Thank you, living it. I appreciate it. What does it say there on your?
It's too
Can
small.
you say it? I can't.
It's too small. I can't.
Can you print that, because it looks interesting anyway? living at 66.
Yeah. Can you print what's on your
avatar? I guess you would call it there. We appreciate it.
eaten by 28? 8-year-old bear remains clothes found in the bear's stomach.
Oh, great.
Thank you, Maui.
Thank you, Maui. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Do you live well, I guess it's Canadian dollars. Did you live in Hawaii? Is that where you got your nickname? Our daughter actually went to school with some Hawaiian, and they lived over there, and she went over there and stayed with them for a while.
What?
She loved it. Huh?
They were Hawaiians and they lived over there?
You know what I mean. They're Americans, but they're Hawaiian by, you know what I mean. They're Hawaiian.
I love Lab Says for me to tell you that it's about a guy who goes to study grizzlies alone each year in season, and he begins to change. And I'm not telling you anything else because it'll ruin it. Okay.
All right. I
Maui
appreciate
is
it.
Canadian.
Canadian, awesome.
But she loves Hawaii. It's her favorite vacation place.
We've never been to Canada, but we hope to go. We hope to possibly go next year if everything, COVID's controlling the borders right now. But hopefully they'll have a vaccine by that time next year and we'll be able to go. Said, no, I'm not Canadian, but love Hawaii, my favorite vacation place. You're not Canadian, okay?
No, she's Canadian. She's not Hawaiian.
Okay, that's all right. I'm not reading that wrong. No, I am Canadian. Okay, great.
What is in that cup?
I don't know what is coffee, but I guess sure? I don't know. I've had a headache all day today, so that may be it. Maybe finally catching up with me.
I think he snuck in there and got some of my homemade wine.
No, I actually could not sleep again last night. 5 a.m. time I went to sleep. It's all that night shift. I'm blaming it on the night shift. But the main thing I wanted to talk about, and I told her, it just seems like today, every case that I pulled up of a missing person ended up a week or two later, they found them deceased. And, I'm just wondering, is it safe to hike alone? I mean, I'm sure there's some hikers in our group. I know a lot of times if you do a hike and you're by yourself and it's kind of like, you just kind of want to get out in nature and it's good to be alone sometimes and kind of like, whether you go solo sailing or whatever, you are actually in some type of danger. I mean, we used to have a sailboat. I love sailing. Sailing can be dangerous, and hiking by yourself can be dangerous. But I mean, is it that much you feel like? I mean, why are all these people, especially females, going out hiking alone? And it seems like they're more prevalent to come up missing. And just like the girl that we talked about from Zion, we just don't know what happened to her. It's early to say it was an accident or she got off trail because, I mean, it's not easy to get off trail in Zion as far as, I mean, most of the trails, the one I'm thinking about that goes up to Angel's Roost, and what I've seen people go up on it too, and even it's worn. It's very worn. And one side, of course, is like to Never Never Land, but still, there's people out there. I mean, it's not like you're by yourself. And only thing I can think of that could have possibly happened, but then again, they didn't find her body, is that she was up there near the Angel's Roost, Angel's Peak, and was waiting to try to catch a sunset or try to catch a certain portion with their cameras. And maybe, and all the people, people leave towards the end. They don't want, one, it gets colder in the evening. Two, that maybe they want to go, and they had a restaurant down there at the bottom or some type of other thing they want to do, or they want to get back to the campsite. So they begin to leave, and maybe she stays there and maybe stayed too long and whatever. I don't know. Maybe she tripped. But the idea is, I mean, it's not like when you fall off the cliff in Zion that you're falling in a forest. I mean, this is like, they're rocks. I mean, they're like red rocks all up and down. It's not like you could fall and nobody would see you, is what I'm trying to say, you know? I just, it gets me how, people can go missing when there's so many people out there. So maybe what we can hope for in this case is we can hope that she maybe is in this. Now, I'm not saying I hope she's hurt, but we can hope that she is maybe injured, but not severely, and she's crawled up somewhere to keep herself warm, and they just have not found her yet. You know, I would hope she didn't fall off the side of the cliff, because I can tell you what I've seen of Zion. And when we get off here, go to YouTube channel and put in there Angels Peak Zion National Park and look at that trail and tell me. You'll see what I'm saying. It's a lot of people do this hike. I mean, a lot of people do hikes. What is this Katie's talking about?
Callie, she sent me an email. Well, Katie, they're talking about a cooking thing, okay. I think.
Or juicing thing?
Well, Kaylee she sent me an email and I sent her back some information on juicing. She's getting her a juicer. Yay!
Good.
Okay, Lori wants to know, do you think human predators go to these parks looking for lone hikers?
That could be a possibility. The only thing is, and like I'm saying about Zion, the trails are very active. You know, they're active. Now, we got COVID in here, so it may not be as active during the week. Now, I didn't look if that was a weekday that she went or not, but here's the thing. They say right now during COVID that the national parks are more crowded than ever because people are tired of being inside. They want to get out there to nature. You don't necessarily have to wear your mask when you're hiking or not around people. So it's, just like the girl, Erica Lloyd, she was upset because she lost her job. She was a hairdresser. She couldn't do hair. She had a child. She wanted to do a road trip, and she went out to Joshua Tree, and now she's missing. And there's another one too. Well, I think this one in particular, if I'm not mistaken, didn't I read that she was traveling around, kind of just seeing the United States? Travel plans, unknown statement from Zion. Basically, traveling through the area, and she was trying to do as many of these hikes and stuff as possible. And there's a lot of people that travel in RVs and vans. That's how they live. I mean, that's their home. And we did that 2.5 years, and we hope to do it again. And we will have more to discuss on that particular thing later on. But we lived in an RV full time for 2.5 years. Loved it. There's nothing like it being free. You are actually as free as you can be. Free as you have money for fuel. That's it.
The fun part about living in the RV for 2.5 years was that some mornings we'd wake up and we'd look at each other and go, "Where are we?"
Yeah, I mean, we had retirement from law enforcement, so it wasn't like we didn't have money for fuel anyway.
Russell said missing 411 covers these national forest disappearances.
Yes, I looked at that, and you're right. And if you look, it said that and this is the thing I addressed a few minutes ago, the Bigfoot Society puts a lot of, they have the largest directory or stats on missing persons in the United States. Now, I don't know why that is. I guess they are wondering if Bigfoot is actually involved in the taking of these human hikers. Hey, I'm not saying it's real or not. I'm just saying, do you remember that a couple years back that they were having so many Bigfoot sightings somewhere, I think in Virginia, that law enforcement came out and said, do not shoot Bigfoot. They did, I promise you. Said, do not shoot Bigfoot. And I'm not sure if they were thinking that people were dressing up like Bigfoot and they were going to get somebody shot, but they actually came out and said that. Do not shoot Bigfoot. I thought it was awesome myself. I posted it. I reposted it on Facebook. I remember that. See, 400. Okay. Now I want to get into a little bit. So we're at 50 minutes into this. This went fast, but get into a little bit about Barry Morphu and the Susan Morphu investigation. A few things have happened this week that need to be addressed. Nancy Grace met with Dr. Oz. It was on Dr. Oz's show, and I caught a little bit of it. She said some things that I had no idea. I didn't hear anything about it. She said that the helmet that Suzanne had, the bike helmet, had been found. That's what she said. And she also said it's been reported that chlorine, the same chlorine smell that were in the hotel, was discovered in the house also. Some type of bleach smell was in the house. So if those two things if that is true, that they did discover a bleach smell in the house, the same type that you smelled in the motel, that would be huge. It would be huge, huge, huge. Now, as far as these YouTubers taking down their posts about Susan Morphu and the Morphu investigation, I did not, and Plunder did for a little bit, but her explanation was, I don't know. I didn't gather exactly what her explanation was. I heard it, but she said I did take it down, but she said I redid it after there was some conspiracy. I think a lot of people were getting some conspiracy theories that maybe that Barry or some lawyers or some threats or something was made to people that would make them fear for their own safety or family safety, so they took them down. I don't know if that was true. I don't personally know why Tube Crime went off the air for a while, other than he said it was personal reasons and not anything to do with the Morphu case at all. Now, let's talk about threats on the internet. I have had trolls. We call them trolls. Trolls are basically people that go around and try to disrupt your site, your live streams, your anything that you're doing. They try to disrupt it. They will make vague threats. They'll make comments that are totally just out there. And I had one that was causing me issues. I blocked their emails, and I told my moderators anytime they come on to block them also. It's just not worth it to me to have arguments inside the chat. And if I feel like I'm not doing any good at what I'm doing, I'll quit before I will have just chaos on your site. It's not worth it to me. I have enough problems listening to the news at night and all the stuff that's going on, and still remain halfway sane. I had to go for a while and not watch the news, period. I just did not watch it. is just because I was just getting stressed out over everything going on. My wife, on the other hand, can listen to it like in her sleep. I can't do it. I just cannot do it. So thank the mods, exactly, because that's what we've got to do. We've got to stay on it. And just like my email, somebody, I don't remember now who it was, that brought it to my attention. And I want to tell you ahead of time, thank you, thank you, thank you. In the comments, we had a porn site that was, and these girls, it's nothing but a porn site. They have these pictures of these young Asian girls in their avatar, and they say, "Hey guys, love guys," all this. If you click on it, it takes you to this site where it's basically where people can watch this porn. So I went and I blocked them, and tried to block everybody that I can to do with that. I blocked them from our messages, and I blocked them from our live stream, and I blocked them from anything. I didn't even read it. I just blocked them. So I would encourage my moderators, if you see anything like that, to block them. I don't have any use for that kind of stuff. It's trash. Somebody say something you were laughing at.
No, something you said earlier made me laugh.
Okay.
That you were almost insane.
Oh yeah, well, almost insane. But you have people like that. And I have something in my YouTube that allows me to put things where it automatically blocks certain comments. Or if you have a comment, say you do a comment and you put a website in there, it puts you in comments to be reviewed. And then I can approve that comment. But the thing is, why I did that is because if you don't, you will get people posting, spamming your stream all day long with these websites. Spamming, and I don't know what kind of these websites are. I'm not going to go back and click on them. So I want you to. I mean, those were automatically. And then, as bad as I hated to, I had to list every foul language word that I can ever remember saying or ever remember heard, and put it in a block so that those words will not be allowed in the live stream or in the comments. And it's just, unfortunately, it's a necessary evil to do it that way. And I just said, please forgive me, God. And I just put them down in there. I've seen other YouTubers troll. I don't have a problem with another YouTuber coming on and mentioning his site, even if it is something that relates to what we're doing. And I go over there and I can say, and not that I'm the super approval, but I'm not going to go to somebody's site if they're bullying people, or they're posting just complete garbage, or they're putting completely false information in there. I mean, making accusations that are totally outrageous. It's just not good. And I don't think that Two Crime does that. I mean, he is definitely different than what we are, but I like his site. That's why I like it. And he seems to be honest, and he cares about his people, and he cares about the Morphu case. Profile and Evil, I know those guys are professional guys and everything. I've attempted to contact them and try to establish a rapport between us, but I have had no luck with that. And Plunder and me do talk occasionally, and she has actually promoted our site on her page. I do appreciate that. And there's a couple of others. I did talk about J is for Justice, and I had a lot of people say I needed to be careful of information I get from her. So I don't know if that's true or not. So I'm just going to have to go and see how each individual information I get from different people are. I'll try to credit them with the information. Yes, yeah. Two Crime does have a big heart. I really, and he is a Marine, so I do thank him for his service. And he's been good to our channel too. He's supported us, so I do want to support him. Yeah, people are rude. You're exactly right. And I do get occasional, "You're not worth you know what," and blah blah blah. And I just delete them. I mean, I copy it just so that I'll have it in my file, but I delete it. And I'll tell you what I believe also this going on, and I think that some of the people. There was one YouTuber I was watching today, and she had a conversation with somebody that I believe could have been Barry.
Time out. Katrina says, "What's happening in Susan Morphu case? Please, I'm very tired. It's 2 a.m. here in Scotland. I need to sleep soon. Thank you all."
Oh my gosh.
So tell her what's going on that you know.
Well, what we know that's going on, that there's been some indications that something is stirring in the case. Now, I have no positive proof of that, just that things seem to be when things get real quiet, you kind of wonder if something's really going on. So there has been some things said, I think, on some of the other channels that it seems like we may have some things developing within the next week or two. I hope so. I really do. And also a member of the Morphu, or not Morphu, but Mormon family has came out to remain confidential, to say that they believe through some information they have that Barry is attempting to destroy evidence in the case. I don't know what that is or who that is that said that, but Nancy Grace reported that, and I don't think she would just say that without getting some evidence out there. But yeah, I wish I could say, hey, there's an arrest, it's going to be made this weekend, or things have happened. I wish I could say that, but I can't. And if you're in Scotland and it's 3 o'clock in the morning, I want to thank you very much for staying up with us and visiting us. And I hope I didn't disappoint you tonight. I wish I had more information on the Morphu case. We are going to stay on that case. We're not going to just let it go. But at the same time, I don't want to just make kind of wild hypothesis about what I believe is going to happen just to keep you on my channel or to keep you coming back. I thought it was very interesting that the supposed bleach smells in the house, and the fact they claimed the helmet was found when, I would like to know where it was found. That would be a good thing for that.
Rowan said something. You probably will understand what he's saying. I don't. He says, "Hope he still makes you into one of his animated characters, Mr. Thomas." Yeah,
that's what. Two Crime said he was going to do that. I would very much like him to do that. That would be great if he sees this or anybody talks to him. Yeah, that would be good. One thing too, I wanted to say, there's some indication from people believe that Barry or some of his friends are threatening somebody and that's why all these videos are coming down. I don't know that to be true, and I don't know that to be not true. None of that. I have had comments to me and trolls, but I've never had somebody come right out and say, and I'll just tell you right off the bat, and you can ask my wife about this. If somebody comes after me on something, you do not want that to happen to me, because I'm not going to back down. The more somebody, if somebody was to threaten me or do something like that, the more I'm going to come to be the aggressive one. And I just, that's just my nature. I'm not easily intimidated. So, I hope they don't do that.
Beauty for Ashes says that Tube Crime and AK are in Saladia.
Salida.
Now searching.
Yeah, I saw his video with the 4-wheeler or the something like that, searching, and where they did actually find something, took a picture of it, what I thought was very, very interesting. Yes, I'm glad he's still out there, and I'm glad he's got somebody with him.
Okay. There's another hiker that's gone missing a week ago, Holly. And Katie says, question, Mr. T, did they check in Barry's toolbox in the back of his truck that he sold? Just asking.
Holly's the one we covered today.
I would think that.
Holly, the hiker, is the one we covered earlier today. I'm sure the FBI, TBI searched everything, the whole truck.
Day.
Yeah.
Salada.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh.
Okay. I'm sure they searched everywhere. And you know, that was one of the things about the big long coolers. The big hunting coolers, where are they? You know, where are all the coolers? Because I don't know any deer hunter out there that doesn't have a big long 6-foot cooler. In fact, I know one in particular, my buddy Jim, that's got 2 or 3. And I had a huge cooler when we lived on the Gulf Coast for shrimp and stuff. So they're not expensive, $100. You know, it's not that expensive. And I know that was one thing they didn't find in the house, not a single cooler, which is kind of weird to me at the very least. Does anybody else have anything they want to bring up? Discussion. I know we are actually going to be out of town this whole weekend from Sunday, but I'm not the whole weekend. We're actually going to be there. We're going to be out of town Sunday and Monday. We coming back Tuesday?
No, we're coming back Monday night.
So it's going to be a long trip. We're driving all the way down to the Gulf Coast, and then we're seeing some doctor's routine stuff and driving all the way back up in 2 days. So, yeah.
Somebody said they found a cooler, a towel, and a tarp in the woods close to the Morphu home when Andy did their search. Think of the Scott Peterson case. No forensic. They get lucky to find.
Yeah. Speaking of Scott Peterson, that was something I was going to bring up. They overturned his verdict. It looks like they've overturned his verdict.
Sent it back to a lower court.
Sent it back to a lower court for retrial, because that's the argument, and that there's not been decided 100% yet. I think it's the argument, but today they said in an article I read and heard on the news that it looks like it's probably going to happen. And I'll tell you why. One of the jurors on that case did not divulge that she had been domestically assaulted when she was pregnant. So she could have been prejudicial towards Scott Peterson. But the actual head of the juror, the foreman, he has come out and said that he doesn't believe that would have played into play on this. But I'm telling you, if they overturn it, there's no doubt that he'll be convicted again. But I don't think he'll get the death penalty, because it's so hard to try a case that's 16 years old again. 16 years old. He's been in prison 16 years. So you imagine that. He could possibly get off. That's what it amounts to. Will he get off? Probably not. But it's possible. So I hate that. I really hate that he could come into this with a whole new trial because of that. But you got to be, listen, I believe in the jury system and I believe in the justice system, and you got to be fair. But in his case, to me, was overwhelming evidence, in my opinion. Hollingsworth case, how do you feel that they cleared the husband even though the wife hadn't been found? I don't know if they polygraphed him, or I think the biggest thing with him, though, he was with the family during the period of time that she went missing. They had kids at the house. That's what I understand. I have not researched it today to find out or understand.
They said officially cleared.
Did they polygraph him? Does anybody know if he took a polygraph? Or the fact is, or did they, I mean, was he at home with the children the whole time? You know, I don't know. If you got a pretty good alibi, that would do it too. Yeah, I feel bad for Lacey's family too, having to go through that again. You know, I've got some feelings about that case, the Hollingsworth case, and you know, I may be wrong, totally wrong, but just from what I've read and how knowing what her illness of alcoholism or some mental illness was, I feel it's a very strong possibility that she does not want to be found. And the reason why I say that is her car should have turned up somewhere, and it would be very easy for, you know, if she's hiding somewhere and staying with someone, that she could hide her car. And just think about this, and I'm not trying to say that this is 100% true, but just think if you had I'm talking to you women out there, if you had a girlfriend that you knew that was going through issues like this, and she came to you and said, man, he's beating me at home, you know, and he's mistreating me, and he uses this. In other words, putting the blame on the husband, claiming abuse. Can I stay with you for a while, and please don't tell him where I'm at? You know, some people will take them in, hide them.
Okay, this is where if it's been reported and they're searching for her, then as a friend, you notify the police anonymously that you know where this person is, but that she does not want to be found, and they can report that to the family and say she's okay, but she don't want to be found by you.
You know, we don't know. I'm just saying that's very possibility that she does not want to be found. One is, we know that no credit cards have been charged, no money's been charged on the gas or anything, but we're not sure, and somebody brought this up, we're not sure how much money she had with her. Yes, she did get $20 at the bank, but so she could have been hoarding and had $5,000 with her.
Hey.
We're not sure what the thing is. And now, you know, I'm not saying this is true, but I get the feeling about this case, and when I read everything, is that she does not want to be found. Now, I may be wrong. They may find her car abandoned, and she may have something foul play may have happened, but that's the feeling. That's the feeling I have, that she is missing because she wants to be missing. And if you believe the Mayor Lane Carter case, where she backed up into a storage container and killed herself, then that was a case of she didn't want to be found either. But there's a case out of Wyoming that somebody sent me on email, and I wanted to get to it, and I meant to do it today, and I apologize for not doing that. Where a girl was in I just wanted to bring it up. I mean, I don't want to cover murders and murder investigation, because believe me, we could spend a month talking about just one case. If you want to dissect a murder case, I promise you I could spend a whole month doing that with you. But there was a case in Wyoming that was sent to me where the girl was happy-go-lucky, life of the party, never depressed, had 3 kids at home. The husband is just frantic about it, and she was discovered. She was missing. Her vehicle was discovered inside a shipping container in Wyoming. So I need to go back and look at that and see if they have determined that was foul play or not. if you're online and you sent that to me, if you could tell me if you know anything more about that.
Callie said, did you see the video of a woman on a Zoom call giving the hand symbol for abuse in the home? The woman was talking looked terrified.
No, I didn't. And what is the hand signal for abuse? I'm not sure.
I thought there's something that's written in the hand or on the hand.
I don't know.
Somebody, I remember hearing this because of all the women that are being prostituted across and sex slave.
Yeah, someone told me not to call them prostitutes, to call them in the sex trade.
Well,
I'll say this.
Right,
but let me say this. The only reason I did that and not referred to them in the sex trade is because I worked vice and narcotics for like 15 years, and that's what we referred them to. So it's kind of, a lot of stuff's ingrained in the old little brain I got in here that it comes out at times. If I say we were talking about the job, that means we're talking about police work. The job.
Kelly says,
it's just a saying we say.
The symbol is hand up, then find 4 fingers down, then cross the thumb.
Kind of like that. So like that. Hand up, and then like that. Would that be it?
I don't know that.
I don't know. I'll look it up though. She clearly gave it. Well, that could be that she was trying to signal, hey, I need help here, because with domestic violence laws out there were changed about 10 years ago, and I'm going to tell you why. That's it? Okay, great. Was this. Used to, a police officer goes out to the scene of domestic violence, and the girl's like black eye, bloody lip, everything. And then the husband would tell her right before the police got there, you tell them I did this to you, next time I'll put you in the hospital, or I'll leave and I'll take the kids or whatever. Then we would come out to a domestic and we'd separate and get a mother in and say, what happened? I fell down the stairs. Well, who did this to you? Because if she said he did it, we'd take him to jail. We'd take him to jail. But she had to agree that he did it, and she had to agree to press charges. But nowadays, if a policeman comes to the scene and he sees evidence of abuse, she's got a black eye, bloody nose, fat lip, he's in there huffing and puffing, and, he goes to jail. And it's to protect her, and the police officer is the one that files charges for domestic abuse.
Okay.
Okay.
I just looked it up.
This right here. This is it.
I just looked it up. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's what they're saying, what it is. Okay. Or they both go to jail. That's true. If you come out there and he's got scratches on his face or a busted lip himself or something, if it looks like both of them have assaulted each other, but now she's just defending herself. If I come out there and there's a 6'4", 240-pound guy and the girl's all beat up and he says, she attacked me, I'm sorry. He's going to jail, and let the judge sort it out, because you can see he can defend himself, Hello, Sarge. Where are you? Sarge? I'm glad to see you. That's all right. I was worried about you the other day when I didn't see you. I was hoping everything was okay.
Can you show that?
Let me see.
This is what I looked up.
This is what they're saying, the sign. Whoops.
Don't tear up my iPad.
They're saying that this is the sign for abuse. Is that what you're referring to? Here you go. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Is that what you're referring to, the hand signal you were referring to? Am I right?
Oh, retired sergeant. Her mom's got COVID. and she's a doctor.
Oh, wow. Well, we'll be praying for her. We sure will. Is she in the hospital? Is she, your mom, is she in the hospital? Either way, we will be praying for her. And I ask everybody that's a believer here, if you believe in prayer like we do please be praying for her mom that is a doctor with COVID for a speedy recovery.
She said her mom is stubborn. We know about them stubborn people.
Yeah, we do know about stubborn people. But we will be praying that she has a speedy recovery.
What's the matter?
We do believe in prayer.
Are you talking?
My grandmother passed away. My uncle was a severe car accident. They can't hurt anymore. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So sorry, Sarge. We'll just pray that for speedy recovery. Yeah, I'm sorry for your loss also.
Uh-oh.
We got dogs barking out here. Hold on just a minute.
Uh-oh.
Is she outside?
Yes, I let her go outside. Maggie.
Yeah, there is so much grief and pain around. You're exactly right. I'll have to say 2020 has not been a good year. I mean, really. Yeah, my dogs, I've got a short video at the end of this video on my crazy dog and what she does. I think she's, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it really, but we'll show that in a few minutes. But yes, domestic violence is a big thing. And I think domestic violence has a lot to do with a lot of missing cases too. I mean, you know, these husbands, I don't understand. I never have understood why that someone will resort to murder instead of divorce. And I know that a lot of people are scared to lose their kids and, oh, you're not taking my kids away from me, or you're not going to be with anybody else. But you don't, if you kill them, you're not going to, where are you going? You know what I mean? You're going to be in prison the rest of your life. So I don't understand that. I really don't. And I wish I could tell you how many domestic violence that I have been on in patrol when I was on patrol. I mean, every Friday and Saturday night, you would answer 4 or 5 of them every weekend. And even in the middle of the week, every holiday, you know. But every holiday and every weekend for sure. But I do want to say that we will sure pray for them. Sure.
Somebody asked if we would pray right now.
Who asked if we would pray right now? Would any of y'all have a problem with us praying right now?
Well, if they do, maybe they put us on mute.
Put us on mute. Sarge, what's your mother's first name? Would you tell us?
Mary.
Mary? Okay. Okay, guys, if you don't mind, I'm going to just say a short prayer for Mary.
Can I end it?
Yeah, you can end it. Father God, we come to you right now, Lord, and we just over this air, I know that you are aware of everything and we need and all of our needs in our life and all our sicknesses. We ask you first to forgive us for our sins, Lord, and I pray, God, right now in Jesus' name that Mary will be healed. We pray for a divine healing in her life that would be so divine and miraculous that everybody would say that this is God and no one else. We pray for everyone's safety during this COVID. And we pray for all these missing people too, Lord, that you would help us find them or create leads to find them.
Yes.
And God, we just continue to ask you in your name, Lord.
Father, we thank you for this group of people that have gathered together. Your word says where two or more are gathered, that you are in our midst. And so, God, your word says that your eyes go to and fro through all the earth, and you know where everything is, where everyone is. God, you know the number of hairs on our head. And so, God, these people that we are highlighting that are missing and their family members just want to know, God, what has happened to them. I pray, Lord, that even now you'll begin to stir the hearts of people who know something, and they'll begin to come forward and say the truth about what happened, that they will help bring a closure to these families whose loved ones are missing. And I pray for Sarge's mother, Mary. God, I pray your healing oil will flow over and through her, and that, God, you will cause every part of her body to line up and work the way you designed it to. God, your word says in Psalms 139 that you know all of the days that we're going to live before we've ever lived one of them. And so, God, I just pray right now that you would just be with Mary, and that you would guide and guard the doctors in what they need to do, and that, God, she would be home quickly. And God, give Sarge peace that passes all understanding. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. So we are going to play a short little video of my crazy dog, and then I'll play the outro, and we hope to see you Monday. Tuesday. But I'm going to tell you, Tuesday night, are we on Tuesday?
Yes.
We may have to put it off to Wednesday if we don't get back in time. Unless we are.
We'll be back in time.
You think we'll be back by 7?
Tuesday, we'll be back Monday night, baby.
Okay, you're right. I'm insane tonight.
Bless his heart.
I think I'm sleep deprived or something. So we will see you Tuesday night. We'll see you Tuesday night. Now watch this. Now watch what my dog, she's got a full water bowl beside her. But watch what my dog decides she wants to drink out of. Crazy dog.
She has a full bowl of water, and yet, look what she's doing. This is what she does every day. I think it's a game to see if she can get enough out of there. Maggie, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that?
See there? Our dog's insane. She would much rather drink out of the water can than the water bowl. It's like, I know something's in there, and it's a lot better than what's in my bowl.
Somebody want to know what's in your coffee cup tonight.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I guess I can't think tonight. For some reason, I didn't sleep last night. Okay, I've got.
That's another song.
I didn't sleep last night.
I didn't sleep at all last night.
I didn't sleep last night. I needed just to get up. She suggested I get up and clean my room that I have in here. But I couldn't sleep last night. And then when I did finally go to sleep, it just seemed like I dreamed about all kinds of stuff. So, and I hardly ever dream. So that was weird. But
somebody told me to cut you off.
But anyway, we will see you Tuesday at 7 o'clock. God bless all of y'all, and continue to pray for Mary with COVID, and that she will get well. And I know that power of prayer works.
Amen.
I really know that. And we love each and every one of you, and we hope to see you again. Please share our videos. Push the like button if you will. Help people subscribe. That would help us more than anything you can do for us. I appreciate it, and we will see you on Tuesday. My big lab's standing at the door here looking at us like, hey, I need something. Okay, good night.